Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm taking a break from writing MMT Trader. My eyes, which will be out later on today. Everybody will get it. A lot of good stuff, but I wanted to make this video because I came across an article I was reading in Yahoo Finance, their website, where one of their analysts were saying it is very, very dangerous right now to be long the dollar. Now these guys, they're all flipping right now. Who told you going way back that the dollar was going to peak out and head down? And I gave you the reason behind that, the real reason, and that was the inflation being created by the price hikes. In other words, the rate hikes. Remember, I told you what to call the terminology when we talk about rate adjustments. Rate hikes, we say price increases, and rate cuts, we say price cuts, right? We don't want to be like everybody else with rate hikes and rate cuts. We say price increases or price cuts. So I was absolutely right. Everybody else was wrong. But, I'm very much a contrarian. And when I see these articles and these headlines, particularly by the crowd that got it completely wrong, right? They were all arguing, well, you got to buy the dollar because the Fed's going to raise rates and then everybody's going to want the dollar. Never mind that they didn't understand the entire dynamic going on there about raising the inflation rate and, trying to say that inflation is good for a currency. I mean, it's literally, like I said in the past, it means your money is worth less. So it does not equate to a higher foreign exchange value. However, like I said, when I see all these people who are wrong all the time, now suddenly getting bearish on the dollar, makes me a little bit concerned. All right, makes me a little bit concerned. So I read the content of that article, and then it came to light that the rationale in there, the people that the author interviewed and quoted, and the rationale behind their comment, hey, it's dangerous to be long the dollar, was once again completely wrong. So what they were saying was that the reason why it's dangerous to be long the dollar is because the Fed will not be raising interest rates anymore. That Janet Yellen knows this and she's just trying to talk up the dollar or talk rates up, but it's not going to happen, and therefore the dollar's going to sell off. And so you can see the irony in this is that their argument is actually, if that came to pass, if we didn't get any further rate hikes, that actually would be bullish for the dollar. They don't understand that. So they got it confused, three ways around, basically, which, made me feel a little bit more comfortable still being short the dollar. However, it does bother me when I see these clueless people coming out in the same direction as I am with their market views. So that's one thing. The other thing I just wanted to throw in here quickly is somebody said, well, in my last video, I talked about taxes not funding spending, all right, not funding government spending. And someone says, well, why collect taxes at all? Well, you need taxes because taxes impart value to the currency. The very fact that the government requires you to pay a tax, otherwise face a penalty, in some cases could be a very harsh penalty, maybe going to jail, that creates demand for the currency. You have to have it. Somebody at least has to have it, and that's what imparts value to it. Now, the best way to use taxes is not to operate under this very misguided belief that, you're using it to fund your spending. You're literally you have to spend it into the economy first for anyone to even have it to pay that tax to you. Like, that should be easy to understand. But taxes should be used to incentivize or curtail certain kinds of behavior. I'll give you an example. What Trump is trying to do, and by the way, this is not a judgment on what he's trying to do. I'm just giving you an example. What Trump is trying to do with the border adjustment tax, where he's going to tax imports and exempt exports in trying to use tax policy to fundamentally change the composition or the character of the United States economy to where we export more. And again, I don't necessarily see that as a good thing. I see exports as a cost. I mean, we labor and we work and we use resources and energy and everything, and we create finished products which human beings need to exist and survive and thrive, and then we send it away to the foreign sector in exchange for, you know, a paper currency. To me, that just seems stupid. But that's one example of how tax policy can be used to fashion the economy or create a certain kind of economy that you might want. You also might want to use tax policy to penalize certain kinds of behavior. You know, maybe you don't want hedge fund speculation, right? Because maybe that artificially drives up the cost of many important raw materials and commodities and natural resources. That's something where you could use tax policy to de-incentivize or penalize that kind of behavior so we don't have it. Or maybe use tax policy to incentivize, you know, investments into the real economy. In other words, infrastructure, education, healthcare, transportation, alternative energy, basic research and development, that kind of stuff. So you got to have taxes because that imparts value to the currency. It's dumb to tax income, and it's, you know, it's even more dumb or dumber to think that you need taxes to spend. It does not fund spending. I mean, like I used the Monopoly example, all right? If the game first has to give you the money for you to be able to pay anything back to it, all right? I mean, if the game doesn't distribute that money first, if it asks for a tax, you have nothing to pay it with, nothing. All right, so it has to first distribute the money. Same thing like the sale of a government security, a treasury security, which is essentially a reserve drain. You can't drain something until you add it, right? You think of a swimming pool. Somebody says, go drain the swimming pool, and there's no water in it. You can't drain a swimming pool. You have to add water to it first before you could drain it. So, I mean, when you sell a treasury, it's just a reserve drain. You had to have added the reserves, the dollars first, in order to even be able to sell the treasuries. You know, you can't drain a swimming pool that has no water in it. You have to add the water first to do a swimming pool drain. Same thing with the treasury sales. That's all they are. Bye.